recent assassination attempt on Donald Trump and the ongoing calls to have President Biden pass the baton onto someone younger have thrown what was already a fraught campaign into turmoil. Catch us each week as we discuss what this all means to the battleground state voter. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Monday night at 11:30 on Fox 35. Fox 35 News starts now with breaking news.
Right now on Fox 35 News at 10, a presidential bombshell. Just 106 days from Election Day, President Joe Biden drops out of the race, ending his re-election bid. The spotlight now shifting to Vice President Kamala Harris, the new presumptive candidate. It is an unprecedented decision in modern political history, and it throws the Democratic Party into unknown territory less than 1 month before their convention. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Hannah McKenzie.
And I'm John Brown. And this president's decision comes after weeks of pressure from fellow Democrats to drop out of the race. The president's shaky debate performance and concerns about his age and mental fitness all led up to this historical event. He made the announcement on X this afternoon. His statement reads in part, "I have decided not to accept the nomination and to focus all my energies on my duties as president for the remainder of my term. Today, I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala to be the nominee of our party this year. Democrats, it's time to come together and beat Trump." Now, he ends the statement by saying, "Let's do this." Well, the last time something like this happened was back in 1968. That's when President Lyndon Johnson bowed out of the race after just one primary. Robert F. Kennedy was also assassinated weeks before the convention was held in Chicago. Well, this year's Democratic convention is also in Chicago. Delegates at this year's event will now get to pick who will lead the ticket coming up in November.
And the vice president released a statement shortly after the president made the announcement. It read in part, "On behalf of the American people, I thank Joe Biden for his extraordinary leadership as president of the United States and for his decades of service to our country. I am honored to have the president's endorsement, and my intention is to earn and win this nomination." Reaction to today's news came quickly from both sides on the political aisle.
And Fox 35's Stephanie Buff-Monty joins us live in studio with more on how some of our local lawmakers are reacting. Stephanie.
Yes, I spoke with our local elected officials. Some Democrats tell me it was time for Biden to step aside and are looking toward the next chapter. Republicans say they worry if Biden is fit to remain in office until the November election. And coming up in our next half hour, you will hear from a political expert, and I will also share what Seminole County voters have to say. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Stephanie. Former president and Republican nominee Donald Trump blasted President Biden on Truth Social, saying, quote, "He was not fit to serve from the very beginning. But the people around him lied to America about his complete and total mental, physical, and cognitive demise. Whoever the left puts up now will just be more of the same." Florida Governor Ron DeSantis responded by saying, quote, "Kamala Harris was complicit in a massive cover-up to hide and deny the fact that Joe Biden was not capable of discharging the duties of the office. She also was the border czar during the worst border crisis in American history. Democrats are just rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic." Then Florida Senator Rick Scott took things a little further, saying, quote, "Joe Biden shouldn't be running our country if he can't run for re-election. This week, I'll be introducing a resolution to urge the cabinet to invoke the 25th Amendment. Biden is not capable of fulfilling the requirements of the job, and that poses a threat to our national security." Now, we have a couple of recent polls that looked at Harris versus Trump. The first is from CBS News, and it shows Donald Trump leading by about 3%. Next, we've got a poll from Forbes and Harris X, and that one found Trump widening that lead by more than 1%. Finally, a poll from NPR, PBS, and Marist found Harris winning by just 1% of that vote.
All right, Hannah, so this is an unusual development this late into an election year. The Democratic convention starts on August 19th, and now the 4,600 delegates will select a new candidate to back. Now, even though President Biden has endorsed the vice president, it doesn't mean that she's going to be the nominee. Some Democratic lawmakers have floated the idea of an open convention. That term's been out there a lot. This simply means other candidates could enter the race and lobby the delegates for their vote. So here to talk more about this tonight is Dr. John Hanley, professor of political science at UCF. John, good to see you tonight. This is a couple weekends in a row we've gotten together like this. We're getting into the election season, which means we'll get to hang out a whole lot more between now and November. Dr. John Hanley, professor of political science at UCF. Always good to see you. Appreciate you. And we will talk to you soon, I'm sure. Hannah, we'll send it back over to you.
All right, thanks, John. Great perspective there. Former President Barack Obama also speaking out about all this. Obama supports President Biden's decision to step aside, saying, quote, Joe Biden has been one of America's most consequential presidents, as well as a dear friend and partner. Followed by, today we have also been reminded again that he is a patriot of the highest order. But something missing from Obama's statement there, he did stop short of endorsing VP Harris for the Democratic nominee. Now, of course, this is a major national story that impacts all of us, and we want to know your thoughts. So if the race for the White House comes down to Vice President Kamala Harris versus former President Donald Trump, who would you vote for? To weigh in, just scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen right now, and we'll show you those results in real time here over the air. We will leave this poll up as we head into break, and we'll check in on those numbers in just a little bit. Fox 35 News, of course, at 10 is just getting started. We have plenty more news to get to. Still ahead, we are learning more about a deadly shooting we first brought you as breaking news this morning. What deputies say led up to shots being fired. Also, we're hearing more about how exactly the president's announcement shakes things up ahead of the Democratic National Convention, what a local professor says we need to pay attention to. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Stick with us.
Many families struggle with the cost of sending their kids back to school, but Fox 35 is here to help, and you can too. Join Fox 35 and our partners and donate school supplies to make a difference to kids in need. Just grab a list, shop, then drop off your donations. The Fox 35 Backpack Brigade, August 2nd at this Walmart Supercenter.
Fox 35 News is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Well, good news, folks. The Saharan dust actually doing us a favor. The tropical outlook is going to be quiet through the next 7 days, so no tropical activity is going to be predicted until then. Keeping an eye on a couple of spots, though. Have a good night.
A heartbreaking story developing out of Volusia County, where sheriff's deputies say a toddler has died. The 2-year-old child reportedly drowned in a canal yesterday. That canal is near Flowing Creek Way, just outside of Osteen. The toddler went missing around 6 p.m. We're told a gate leading out of the family's backyard was found open, and the toddler had walked about 300 feet over to the water. His mother was the one to find him after she heard one of their dogs barking near the canal. First responders tried to revive him, but it was too late. The Orange County Sheriff's Office confirms one woman is dead after an overnight shooting.
And this is an update to a breaking news story we brought you this morning on Good Day Orlando. Deputies say it happened near the 9100 block of Waverly Walk Drive in Orlando just after midnight. A man and a woman, both in their 30s, were found with gunshot wounds. The woman was pronounced dead at the scene. The man appeared to have shot himself and was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries.
This is a new community. It's hard to wake up and you think it's never going to happen in your community, and you wake up and here's a crime scene tape and something horrible has happened.
Deputies believe this was a domestic shooting, and they tell us there is no threat to the public at this time.
In Brevard County, one person is dead after a single vehicle rollover crash. According to Brevard County Fire Rescue, 4 people were thrown from the car today on I-95. One of the occupants died. 3 others were taken to area hospitals. We're told all 3 are in critical condition tonight. The deadly crash caused part of the interstate to be shut down for several hours. No word yet on what caused it. Over in Seminole County, 4 teens are now facing charges tonight after they're accused of breaking into vehicles.
Sanford police say it was officers on patrol after a string of car burglaries out there that saw it. Officers shared this body cam video and say they saw 4 suspects run away from an apartment complex yesterday morning after those suspects realized that they were being watched. Police officers caught up with all 4 and say they were found with burglary tools and stolen property. All 4 were arrested. 2, by the way, were already on probation.
Alrighty, let's head outside for a quick live look from our Cool Today camera. This is looking out over I-Drive. Looking gorgeous out there, Orlando, all lit up in your glory. Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Laurel Blanchard joins us now.
Yeah, pretty nice day out there. Humid, of course,
yes,
but nothing like the storms we saw the day before, Laurel.
No, absolutely. However, we did see a good amount of rain from those storms earlier today. Let's check that out. We saw some areas get almost 3 inches of rain. Let's focus in on Orange County and up to Seminole County first. Right by the Orlando metro area, 3 inches of rain. And as we take a look down towards Disney property, almost 2 inches of rain. Headed up towards the Seminole County border, over 2 inches of rain right there as well. Let's take it up to a couple of areas that were actually in some flood advisories a little bit earlier on today as well. Right by Bellevue, just got 3 inches of rain earlier on this evening, almost 3.5 inches right by Salt Springs. So we're going to continue to see the last of those showers fizzle out as we head through the rest of the evening. And these showers slowly just going to be making their way up towards St. Augustine and off the coast. Not really seeing any lightning with these either, but as we take a look at some areas still getting some light rain, we can see as we take a look towards Clearmont and up towards the Florida Pike, really just seeing some light rain headed up towards Leesburg, and we're seeing some heavier rain as we take a look across Alachua County right by Ocala. That's going to continue to roll out to sea as we head into the next couple of hours. But other than that, these storms slowly going to start to fizzle out and slowly make their way up I-95. Other than that, things going to stay quiet through the rest of the overnight tonight. And of course, the Saharan dust, we have to talk about it. This is what it's looking at right now. Still seeing that thick dust over Orlando, and we're going to continue to see that dust really settle in as we head into the start of the work week. So as we take a look at the future, we're really going to be seeing more of that thicker dust settle up into Miami and then really start to push in towards Central Florida as we head through your Monday into your Tuesday. Now, when is the Saharan dust finally going to push out? Well, that's going to be towards the end of the work week. A little bit of moisture going to start to move up from the south, and that's really going to clear us out, but it's also going to be amping up our rain chances as we head into about Wednesday into your Thursday. Taking a look at temperatures right now, not too bad out there. Still seeing mid-80s in Sanford down to Orlando, 84 degrees. We're going to continue to cool down through the overnight tonight. Temperature is going to be lowering down into the mid-70s, so not too bad as you're headed out the door tomorrow. But for the forecast, we're going to see a little bit more of those storms start to pop up as we head through the afternoon and evening. Take a look tomorrow morning as you're headed out the door, 7 a.m. Partly cloudy skies out there, and then through the afternoon, right at about lunch hour, still seeing those mostly cloudy skies. Slowly going to start to see those storms push in from that western sea breeze. I think the majority of the storms going to be down to our south of the Orlando metro area before they really start to collide once again, spanning up towards Central Florida, and then we're going to continue to see more of that widespread rain as we head into later on Monday into your Tuesday morning. And Tuesday, we're going to do it all again. Going to be seeing a different day, but the same song. More of that widespread rain as we see that moisture come back into the region as we head through your Tuesday evening as that dust slowly starts to clear out. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast, we're going to start off the work week. Temperature is going to be throughout the low 90s. That's actually a little bit cooler from what the temperatures we've been experiencing earlier this week. Humidity, though, really going to be hot and hazy for your Monday. Heat indices going to be feeling like 110 degrees. We're going to see that humidity also amp up as we take a look at your Wednesday as we amp up those storm chances as temperatures pop back up into the mid-90s.
All right, thanks, Laurel. When we come back, an update to a brutal killing decades ago. How detectives were able to track evidence back to the victim's ex and help solve this cold case more than 20 years later.
And Biden is out, so VP Kamala Harris is primed to become the Democratic nominee. So we have another perspective about where things go from here with this massive shakeup so late in the race.
Welcome back. A murder arrest 24 years in the making. Sanford police say they arrested a man this week accused of killing a woman back in 1999.
The suspect here is Gary Durrance. He was the woman's boyfriend at the time. And Fox 35's Amy Caulfield shows us how police pieced together this cold case 2 decades later. Still to come tonight, more questions about President Biden's decision to bow out of the race for re-election. What a UCF professor says we need to look out for as we head to what should be a wild Democratic convention.
Plus, victory in the battle to keep a local public library open. How the community rallied to save it when we come back.
Fox 35 News is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Well, the country is still reacting tonight to President Joe Biden's announcement that he's no longer seeking re-election.
Biden has endorsed the vice president, but the DNC is still weeks away. Fox 35's Rebecca Castor explains what it could mean. Alrighty, you already saw it on the bottom of your screen there. We are checking back in on our live poll tonight. We are asking, who would you vote for if the presidential election comes down to former President Donald Trump versus Vice President Kamala Harris? And as things stand right now, it's looking like Trump is leading in a landslide. Was that 74% to Kamala Harris's 25%, and about 1% says do not plan on voting. Now, you can still vote on this poll by scanning the QR code at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen there. We will check in one last time at the end of our newscast.
We're now more polarized in this country than at any time since the American Civil War.
And that is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. speaking out after the president's announcement to leave the presidential race. The former Democrat turned independent says that this is now a two-man race, and he's referring to himself and former President Trump. Some people now wondering if RFK Jr. might go back to the Democratic Party to try and win the nomination over Vice President Harris.
Well, it's not just politicians reacting to President Biden's decision to drop out. Folks across the country are wondering what is next.
And Fox 35's Stephanie Buff-Monty joins us live in studio once again. So, Steph, you spoke with a political science professor about all the repercussions here.
I did. I spoke with a political expert who says all eyes will be on the Democratic National Convention, where the decision on who will be the presidential nominee will be made official. The DNC begins August 19th. Live in the studio, Stephanie Buff-Monty, Fox 35 News.
Thanks, Steph. And Fox 35 News will have continuous coverage on everything leading up to the election. You can find updates on our website, fox35orlando.com, and on the Fox 35 News app. Plus, watch any of our broadcasts on the Fox Local app on your smart TV.
Still to come, a battle over books. Altamont Springs was planning to close its library. That is until neighbors took matters into their own hands.
I hope you change your decision and let the library stand.
Now they're writing a new chapter. How this one plays out after the break.
Plus, let's take a look at the Fox 35 Pump Patrol, $3.09 a gallon at the Chevron on South Orange Blossom Trail in Apopka. And you're watching Fox 35 News at 10. New tonight, it appears the library in Altamont Springs will be staying open. The community put up a fight until the city did a 180.
At a meeting last week, library supporters showed up in droves to protest the shutdown. Fox 35 Stephanie Buff-Monty was there.
Let's take a live look outside right now. Look at that view. The moon high over the ocean right now and Daytona Beach on your right-hand side. That's the view from the Hard Rock Hotel Daytona Beach. And yeah, I was over there today and it was hot. They said they got upwards of 6 inches of rain in some of the areas yesterday. The golf course was soaking wet over there.
Oh, yeah.
That's more like a swimming pool than a golf course. But it didn't impact your game, did it, John?
Well, the sand traps are swimming pools. I will say that. So all the golf balls that went into the sand trap, I just left them.
Hey. You got a golf day and a beach day. That's what you got.
Best of both worlds.
Right.
She
She's
fits
on
right
it.
in.
She's on it.
Laurel, we had to have this umbrellas around all day today. Are we going to have them for the beginning of the work week too?
A little bit later on as we head through your Monday afternoon, but as you're headed out the door tomorrow, temperature is not going to be too bad out there, but the humidity going to be picking up quick. We're going to be seeing those temperatures lingering throughout the mid to upper 70s as you're headed out the door tomorrow. Not going to be seeing any thunderstorms. However, we are going to be keeping those clouds as you're making your road road to work. Taking a look outside right now at the radar, we are seeing that last of that rain finally starting to fizzle out. We can see some of that lighter rain starting to move up I-75 corridor, but other than that, we're really just going to be seeing the majority of that rain finally starting to fizzle out over Alachua County, starting to make its way up towards St. Augustine. Other than that, we're really going to be staying quiet through the rest of the overnight tonight as the last of these storms slowly start to make their way up to the northeast, and we're really going to quiet down as we head into a little bit later on. Starting off the work week on a beautiful note. Taking a look, last of that rain, seeing light rain as we take a look towards Clearmont and up towards Leesburg. Other than that, we're just seeing that heavier rain starting to make its way across Alachua County, but other than that, things are going to be quieting down through the rest of the overnight tonight. Luckily, not too many thunderstorms out there, but as we head through the day tomorrow, going to be picking up those thunderstorms once again. High temperatures tomorrow going to be throughout the mid-upper 80s, and we're seeing those temperatures right now going to be lingering throughout the upper 70s and mid-80s, 84 still degrees in Orlando. So we're really going to be seeing those temperatures cool down a little bit more, but we're going to turn the heat right back up as we head through the day tomorrow. Take a look at this. Temperature is going to be throughout the low 90s tomorrow, but it's going to feel almost like 110 degrees. Getting a little bit of that heat relief as we take a look at your Wednesday, but we're also going to be seeing those thunderstorms really start to amp up as we head through your Wednesday as well. Forecast plans for tomorrow, we're going to be seeing those rain chances across the West Coast really start to pick up a little bit more as those thunderstorms start to fire up. Here in the Orlando metro area, only going to be seeing a handful of thunderstorms, very similar to how today played out, but because of that Saharan dust pushing out, we're going to be seeing those rain chances amp right back up again as we take a look at your Wednesday and Thursday. Forecast tomorrow, going to be seeing the last of those clouds slowly start to fizzle out as we head into your Monday morning. Out the door 7 a.m., going to be seeing those partly cloudy skies, that filtered hazy sunshine because of that Saharan dust once again. And then as we head into about lunch hour, going to be seeing those mostly sunny skies. Once again, that filtered sunshine before we see those thunderstorms really start to fire up. Mainly going to be to our south, but we are going to be seeing some of those thunderstorms start to fire up along I-75 as we head into about the 3-4 o'clock hour. Things going to be quieting down a little bit later on, so only going to be seeing a handful of thunderstorms as we head through tomorrow afternoon. As we take a look at the start of the work week, temperatures cooling down. And by cooling down, I mean popping down as we take a look at average temperatures. Average high for this time of year, 92 degrees, and we're going to be right at that to start off the work week. Then we're going to be seeing scattered showers and thunderstorms as we take a look Tuesday until the end of the work week.
Here in Central Florida, our weather is always changing. Every morning, I'll give you the fastest, smartest, down-to-the-street information to help you start your day. I know how important quality time is with your family. I will not waste your time. It's a great day to have a good day. Join me on Good Day Orlando. You can depend on the Fox 35 Storm Team.
Shop all of our Big One sales event deals now at Toyota of Orlando and Toyota of Clermont.
Well, happening tomorrow, Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle is set to testify before the House Oversight Committee. Some lawmakers are upset over what they say is a lack of transparency involving the investigation into the attempted assassination of the former president. Congress, alongside the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security, are each investigating the security breakdown at that rally. In the Fox 35 classroom, tomorrow marks the first day of school for some students in Brevard and Marion counties.
It may sound kind of early, and that's because it is. Challenger 7 Elementary in Cocoa and Wyomina Park Elementary School in Ocala are each starting a new year-round school calendar. They're the first schools in each county to do so. So instead of traditional summer and winter breaks, students will attend classes year-round with small breaks sprinkled throughout the year. Those in favor of this schedule say it will combat the summer slide, in which some students may forget what they've learned during holiday breaks. The new pilot program is set for 5 years.
All right, before I head to break, here's another live look over downtown Orlando. Beautiful night out there, and Fox 35 News at 10 will be right back on a Sunday evening right here in Central Florida. In Orange County this weekend, all adoption fees were waived at Orange County Animal Services.
Despite the drop, the shelter says it's still at capacity and normal fees will resume tomorrow, but they say they still need people to step up and adopt those pets, and quickly. The shelter posted a video showcasing some of the furry friends that they have up for adoption. And according to shelter staff, they've currently got more than 200 dogs and 160 cats in their care. Their goal was to get at least 100 animals in safe and loving homes this weekend.
We actually recommend you come here multiple times and not just try to find an animal the first time. We say walk through with an open heart, look inside every single kennel and every single animal until you find the one that, touches your heart.
And if you can't adopt a pet, there are other ways you can give. You can foster, you can donate food or supplies, or you can just donate your time. Well, if you're looking to maximize the last days of summer, Universal Orlando Resort just dropped a pretty sweet deal for Florida residents.
Yeah, this is called the Florida Unlimited Days ticket package. Costs $199, and you get unlimited access to both Universal Studios and Universal Islands of Adventure from now through December the 18th.
If you were already planning on going to Universal for a vacation sometime this upcoming season, or if you were someone who was on the fence about it, this is actually going to save you money over buying a regular ticket.
The pass does not include parking, but you can use it during seasonal events like Universal's Holiday Parade. I just had lots of adults spoil themselves with toys they couldn't get when they were kids. Why this is leading to a boom for several industries. All right, take a look at this. A rare orange lobster was almost served at a Red Lobster in Colorado. Workers there named it Orange Crush after the Denver Broncos' iconic Orange Crush defense from the late 70s and early 80s. The lobster was almost boiled before employees realized just how rare this thing is. Crush was caught off the coast of Canada. It is now at Denver's downtown aquarium in quarantine for the next 30 days, but it'll soon be out on display for everybody to see.
Not on someone's plate.
Right, that's for sure. All right, trending now from action figures to comic books. More and more people are taking part in the kidulting trend. You got that? Kidulting.
First time I've heard of it. Experts say this trend got started during the pandemic as people searched for some normalcy in uncertain times. And experts say that sense of normal was found in nostalgia and memories from youth, thus creating a boom in toy sales. It's a trend some retailers say hasn't died down yet.
It definitely has been riding a lot on nostalgia, and I feel like in the middle of COVID, it really gave people the opportunity to explore that area. Kind of just depends on what's hot at the moment.
Right now, data from the company Circana shows adults over 18 have passed kids aged 3 to 5 to become the biggest buyers in the toy industry. Well, that does it for us here at 10. But before we go, let's check in one last time with our live poll. We wanted to know who you would vote for now that President Biden has bowed out if it comes down to Trump versus Harris in the presidential election. And those numbers don't lie. A vast majority of you plan to vote for former President Trump. We had more than 650 votes tonight in this poll, and more than 500 of them was for Trump.
All right, we'll see you back here for Fox 35's Good Day Orlando starting at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. And you can also go to fox35orlando.com to get the very latest news.